Hey guys, how's it going? 6Speed here, and today we're gonna go over how to make this cool riddim yoey bass sounds a little something like this. So without further ado, let's get to this, boys!
We can attack the city.
So if you want to be a sick riddim artist, this is essential to anybody's arsenal. So I'm going to teach you how to make this cool yoey bass today, and we're going to jump over into Ableton right now for the boys. You ready? You guys ready? I don't think you're ready. So here is the quick little screen cap of the initial oscillator tab, and then one for the FX tab if you don't feel like watching it. But the fact of the matter is if you watch this whole tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make any sound into a dope yoey bass instead of just mimicking this one, you know, and sounding like me. I'm gonna teach you how to sound like yourself. So if you wish to join me on a journey to self-enlightenment and finding your true sound, then please join me and follow me on this quest. So let's do this, everybody. Things are about to get serious. Let's open up that initial preset and get to it. Dun dun dun. Okay. So here we are in the oscillator tab. You'll open up oscillator A, and we're going to go to analog, and we are going to hit up the basic shapes, because basic shapes is our homeboy and he never lets us down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to wavetable position 2, going to detune this bad boy by 2, as well as bringing the volume all the way down. We're going to throw macro 1 on there, on wavetable, position for 18%, because we just want it to be jumping between the saw wave and the square wave, the saw wave and the triangle wave. We're also going to throw one on level from 0 to 100%, because we want to control more or less the whole sound and tonality, I guess, of it, or LFO of it, through macro and automation. And we are also going to put on FM from B for 30%, and then once we get that to 30% or around there, we are going to throw macro 1 on there as well for a big old whopping 16% increase, just to give the sound a little bit more movement. Somewhere around there is actually perfect. And then we are also going to go to oscillator B now. For oscillator B, we're going to wavetable, analog, and then we are going to go to the B-sod square. First things first, bring that wavetable position up to wavetable position number 97. Dun dun dun, or around there, 98 should be good. We're going to bring the level all the way down. We're going to throw a sync on here, and we're going to bring the sync up to 2.1 or 2.12%. Or around there, somewhere like that. And then we're also going to throw the macro 1 on there for 11% increase. So it's somewhere sitting around here, you know, like that. And then that pretty much wraps it up for the oscillators. The next thing we're going to move on to is the filter. So for our filter, we're going to go to miscellaneous and then band reject. You're fine just leaving it on the stock A, because B is not putting out any sound. We're not using the noise or the sub oscillator either. We're going to bring the cutoff up to about 667 hertz. As well, we are going to throw a macro on there and increase it by 28% or around there. So 27 should be good. Next, we're going to bring the resonant up to about 59%. And then the pan can stay the same. And then our drive and our width, we're going to increase to 61%, somewhere around there. Like so. And our mix we're going to bring down to 75%. Finally, on the oscillator tab, the only thing that's really left to play with is we're going to turn on mono, legato, and as always, we'll turn on always and bring the port up to 95 milliseconds. It's not having fun with me right now. There we go. Bam. So now that's done, we're going to head over to the FX tab. So the first effects that we're going to do is we're going to do the hyperdimensioner, then we will do distortion tab, or plugin compressor tab, and then we are going to do the EQ tab. So for a hyperdimensioner, our rate is going to be at 14%, and then we are going to bring our detune down to approximately the same around 14 to 13%. Not super big if you're not directly on, but you definitely want to be within a few notches of that bad boy. So like that. The mix we're going to bring down to 27%, and then for our dimension expander, we are going to bring the size down to 7%, and then we are going to bring the mix up to about 75%, and then throw macro 1 on there to increase it to the remaining to the 100%. And that basically does it for the hyper and dimension expander. The next thing we're going to do is major key. This is the root to the whole sound. Your sound will not sound anywhere close to it, by the way, up to this point if you've been playing with it, because this is the plugin that makes the difference between having a regular growl and having a really sick riddim yoi bass. So what we'll do is we are going to open up the distortion, and we are going to turn on the downsample. We are going to go to pre instead of post or off, and we are going to bring the frequency down to about 48 hertz. From there, once you get to 48 hertz, we're going to bring the Q up to about 5.8. And once we get that there, we're going to throw a macro onto the frequency. So as you can see how it goes back and forth like this. You're going to do that trick I showed you in the last tutorial, where you hold shift and alt at the same time and then click on frequency, and it quickly just jumps it over. A quick little visual of what it's actually doing is this. It's going from it being on the one side to a 50-50 split. So like that, see that's 50% on it for the LFO, so it's modulating it left and right versus just modulating it right. So we just want to modulate this down, and then we're going to do the same for our Q, but you don't have to do the shift alt trick on that one because it already goes in the way we want it. And then what we're going to do is drag this from a low pass up to a high pass, bring the drive up to 50%, and then we can call it a day right there with the distortion. So finally as well, we're gonna jump over and we're just gonna quickly do the compressor. So turn it on to multiband, and then I'm just gonna play with the settings to taste here. So that's pretty good. So basically leave the threshold, bring the ratio down to 3:1. Your attack is good at about 50 milliseconds. Release I have about at 150 milliseconds. And gain I have up to 9.6 dB, as well as having the multiband selected. Finally, we're going to move on to the EQ. So we are going to high pass the sound. We're going to bring the frequency down to about 100 hertz. Bring that Q down to 43%, and bring the gain down to -8%. We are also going to high pass this. We want to bring the Q down, so it's kind of like that. So down to about 42%, and then we're going to put it so it's about at 6,000 hertz, and we are going to throw a macro 1 on there and bring it up for the about 22%. So your sound after all of this should sound a little something like this. So there you have it, everybody. That's how you can make a really, really sick riddim yoi bass in Serum. Well, there you guys have it. That's it for today, and that is the end of our quest for finding your true sound. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see from future content, maybe future videos or other sound design tutorials, or even stuff that's not sound design related. Just anything in general, topics you'd like me to cover, or things you'd like me to try to explain in my words. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. 6Speed out.
We're gonna attack the city.